Trey Ratola. I am the co-chair of Casa BruMar Foundation's Rise Up Scholarship Subcommittee.
Jay Hatton. I'm also co-chair of the Rise Up Scholarship.
What were the main challenges or opportunities that you were facing when thinking about scholarships before using Scholarships 360?
So I think the biggest problem is we are based out of Prince William County currently in Virginia, which is a suburb of the DC area. So we're very diverse, but one of the things is there's lots of different opportunities available. So sometimes you can get kind of drowned out in the noise. We don't have contacts all across the state. So we were looking for some way to kind of get that message out that we have this scholarship opportunity. We want it to be known to any LGBTQ youth and their allies that are between the ages of 18 to 25 that we have some money that we would like to give you to help you attend four-year college or grad school.
When thinking about, I guess, specific goals or outcomes, was there anything very particular that you wanted to achieve as far as specific goals, numbers, etc.?
I think the biggest thing that we were trying to do is make sure that we reach the more rural areas of the state, especially because of some of the policies that have been implemented at different times. We live in a state where sometimes whoever is in the administration can make it harder for students to find particular opportunities or safe schools. So we wanted to make sure that anybody who felt like they needed a helping hand and a little support to get to college had that chance. And we know that it can be very hard for LGBTQ plus youth to find scholarships.
Why did you ultimately decide to go with Scholarships 360 over other platforms?
Ultimately, we chose Scholarship 360 because as a scholarship, we are trying to make sure the majority of the funds we raise go directly to the students. So a lot of other platforms either were not as flexible or they didn't have the same reach that we were looking to do. And the fact that you work with nonprofits without charging them was a huge upside for us.
Were there any concerns when making this decision-making process about selecting Scholarship 360?
Not initially, but it was brought to our attention the idea of safety of the people who were awarded the scholarship. Being a part of the trans community, you tend to try to think about safety first, and you all seemed actually pretty good about doing the due diligence on that.
Curious, what are the results that you've seen since using Scholarship 360?
So since we went with Scholarship 360, the amount of applications we got tripled. So we'll be really interested to see how this year does because the first year we only had, I think, 3 applicants when we had it just centralized to Prince William County. And then the next year, I think we were in the 20s. And then last year, I believe we were in the 60s. And we hope to reach more students going forward. But also, too, it's sometimes scaling. Sometimes, as you're growing, you can't have it be where you suddenly get an explosion of applicants either. So you've all been very helpful with managing what we are being able to bring to the table. And hopefully we're hoping Scholarships 360, as we continue to promote and advertise, that might also bring in new sponsorships or donors that let us increase our outreach. So then as it gets out more, then yes, we could handle more applicants, but
Were there any outcomes or results that were surprising or just unexpected as you reflected on this?
I think I was surprised last year by the drastic increase of applicants.
Zooming out, I'm curious what advice you might have to another, let's be specific, smaller nonprofit that's, looking to launch and grow a scholarship program.
I would have to say to another organization like us, where you have a small group of people, especially 3 of us are educators and one's an advocate in our subcommittee. So we have we wear a lot of different hats in the community that taking the advice of what the Scholarship 360 team has seen work effectively is incredibly valuable. If we had had to sort through the essays that we had had or videos and recommendations and then have to do that extra step of reaching out, that would have been a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the provider portal does too, in terms of communication, because we've found that you've been very flexible in terms of helping us find solutions to problems we have. Like one of the things that we've run into was Gen Z sometimes doesn't check their email. So something as simple as, hey, can we add a phone number? Alternate contact has been doable. And then also to making it clear to protect the students and the applicant's safety that they understand if they apply. Our goal is for them to be an ambassador for the foundation, in the sense, not that they're going to events and they're speaking all the time, but they should be proud to be awarded the scholarship. So we do want their face to be part of it, but we understand that risk too. So making sure that it's communicated well, that they know. The fact that you all check that is huge for us as well, especially as we continue to grow, because we especially don't want to put somebody at risk who is 8 hours across the state. You have a perspective that we lack because we are still in the center. We're focusing on what worked for us in the past, but you all have seen what has worked on a macro level for so many other scholarships. So I think the biggest thing a small organization can do is not be afraid to be vulnerable. It's okay, like, to admit you don't know if what you're doing is the best thing. It's okay to ask questions about what has worked for other people. And the fact that you make it so easy and affordable for the nonprofits, I can't imagine why they wouldn't choose Scholarship 360.
Perspectives from scholarship orgs to provide advice for students. That's like the number one question we get from students all the time is like, well, like, what actually should I be doing in my application to make it as compelling as possible? Like, how do they choose applications? So I guess can break this into two questions. Like, what advice would you have for a high school student or a college student who's applying for the scholarship?
Answer all the questions. Please answer all the questions completely. Because a surefire way to get automatically knocked off is to leave things blank. The more information you can give us, the better story you can tell us about what advocacy you want or what your goals are, the better we can see how they align and the more likely we are to select you.
I think the other thing too is a lot of times when we're trying to figure out who's going to win, we're trying to see who already has kind of sketched out their long-term plan. Some of the essays come across as resumes that are written into full sentences. And it's great that you've accomplished this, but if you don't have a plan that is actionable, what we talk about a lot of times is a SMART goal in education. Like, it needs to be specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So a lot of the students that we've been awarding to lately, they've identified a specific issue that is impacting the LGBTQ plus community, and they are sketching out how their education will help them advocate further.